What is going on, YouTubers? I hope everybody's doing fantastic out there today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Continue staying safe out there, wearing your face masks and whatnot, and then washing your hands. It's funny to think that adults, people need to tell adults to wash their hands. I thought that was just something normal that adults do, but I guess not. That's the kind of era we live in, just everybody not wanting to wash their hands. But let's get straight into it. So today what I wanted to do, by the way, as always, if you guys enjoy the video, you can hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And stay tuned because we will be announcing the giveaway this weekend to the winner, and then, we'll set whatever up with them so we can ship it to them and whatnot. But let's get straight into it because I wanted to talk about Mr. Bad Boy of the comic book universe, Donny Cates. I basically call him just Marvel's poster boy at this point because, you have Kevin Feige, running Marvel Studios, and then you have a guy like Donny Cates just completely taking over the Marvel comic book universe, which has been, me personally, I've been a little bit fatigued on it. I'm a little bit tired of the same old stuff, but I know, Thor has had some insane moments, so has Venom, and then obviously with the Null appearance. But to me, what really drew my attention was crossover, right? When crossover #1 came out. And so what I wanted to do today was kind of just give you guys a brief overview and give you guys a brief summary of issue #1 and #2 of crossover, and then give you guys my overall thoughts and kind of my rating on the issue so far. I'm going to show you guys really quickly. I already showed them to you guys in an earlier video, but I'm still going to show you guys the covers that I picked up. I was lucky enough to pick up the secret variant. As you can see, the secret variant, the only difference is that cover. The regular cover A is just basically this cover in this small format, but the secret variant actually has, I think that's like variant C, or I believe it was like variant C or D for issue #1. I was also able to pick up the 1 in 10 incentive ratio variant, which I absolutely love. There you have Ellie, and again, I was able to pick it up for only $5, which I thought was just an insanely good price. And then my favorite cover, even though there's, it's not as special as the 1 in 10 or the secret variant, but this one was my favorite. You can see like God Country, the comic book right there exploding. And you'll understand why it is that those issues are there in a minute. And then finally for #2, I was able to only pick up the regular cover, which I believe this is cover A. I know they had like a bunch of covers for this, and it was like cover B blank, and then cover C, or like a 1 in 10 variant or something like that was just a virgin cover. I don't believe in virgin covers. I think that's ridiculous. I'm not paying $10 extra for you just to take the words off. I mean, I don't mind the words, but if you're gonna give me a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 20 or even a 1 in 50, at least give me something that that is a different cover. Don't just be like, oh, like I've seen some that are like black and white. I think this one had a cover variant that was black and white, which I thought was just ridiculous. But anyways, enough of that. Let's get straight into a brief little summary on the entire series, or the entire series up to this point, which is 1 and 2. I didn't want to make an entire video on just one issue, so I was like, you know what, I'll wait for the second or third one, and then I'll make a video on it. So let's get straight into it now. The basic premise or the plot point is very simple, but it's very interesting and very creative from Donny Cates' part. It's about this, technically it's kind of following this this character named Ellie, who lives in a universe or lives on Earth, but lives in an alternate universe where, these comic book characters came to life. So it talks about an event where all the comic book characters come out. There's this huge epic battle. They're constantly fighting villains versus heroes, and then there's like people getting their faces smashed up, and it's ridiculously gruesome. That's probably my favorite panel, because it's one of those few comic books that's just like boom, right in your face. And there's like this epic battle, and they somehow get like, imagine what happens in the Simpsons movie. That's what happens. It's just like a giant dome where everybody's just bashing on each other inside, or as far as we know, because we don't really know what's happening inside as far as issue #2 goes. So we know that that's happening, and then it kind of fast forwards into following this character named Ellie, and we get to know that people are kind of pissed off at comic books. Some people say it's like devil worship, and You know, if you wear cosplay and stuff like that, you get bottles thrown at you. And which, by the way, it's funny because the way they're, you know, the people that hate comic books, the way they're portrayed on there is like, oh, you know, comic books, I want to burn them and set them on fire. But they're portrayed as evil people. But hey, dude, if like, and I'll give you guys an example. Like if there's a dude, like let's say I live in that universe and there's a dude next to me trying to read like Aliens, I'll punch that dude in the face and I'll burn his comic book. I mean, like everything is coming out of the comic books in this universe, and that's what was really interesting to me. That, you know, people were like, they portrayed him as evil people, but you know, if stuff's gonna be coming, like imagine just like opening a bit, you know, your comic book and going to the page where like Hulk is smashing, and then he comes out and like just rips you in half and destroys your whole house. I mean, obviously I would think comic books were evil probably as well, but you know, Ellie works at a comic book shop, and so that storyline progresses. You know, people, there's a large quantity of people that hate comic books, hate people that wear masks, people that cosplay, and then eventually we get to a point, I'm not going to spoil too much, although I've kind of already told you the beginning story, but there's another plot line where they're potentially going to break into the dome. They find a girl that's from the comic book universe that escaped the dome, and so they're gonna try to get her back inside. Ellie's parents are actually stuck inside as well. So, and then there's a secret mission where, you know, some secret government, you know, facility is like doing some sort of experimentation on some of the comic book characters. So, and it's really interesting. There's a couple things that I really liked about it was the ironic commentary on comic books from Donny Cates, which is funny because he writes comic books and he's writing comic books as we speak. And so it was funny to me that he's kind of making fun and poking fun at the comic book universe, but while at the same time he is a part of the comic book universe himself. He's a comic book creator, and it was really funny as well was that like regular comic book characters, like just random pedestrians, also came out of the comic book. So it wasn't just like all the superheroes. There was probably like random pedestrians that came out, because there's a scene in there where there's like just a line of comic book individuals, and they're not all superheroes. So I'm assuming there are a lot of like those random pedestrians walking down the street. Those guys actually came out of the pages as well. So that's pretty interesting. Now the so and there's another really big panel. This is my favorite panel, where they get to show kind of they show like little shadows, and they show like Batman like shadows, Batgirl like shadows, and there's even like a Green Lantern reference in there, and we even see like a freaking Spawn. Now, and obviously for those of you guys that are keeping up to date, the Spawn number 3 is actually gonna have, or Spawn number 3, crossover number 3 is gonna have Spawn on the cover. I actually already pre-ordered that issue, and that, I believe that one's like groundbreaking because it's breaking records. I think it's like at 100,000 orders already, which is insane, dude. So I mean, just insanity is happening right now with this issue. I think when it's all wrapped up and said, I think this might be one of the more iconic comic books from Donny Cates. And so again, I'm not sure if they have the rights or they have the capability to actually portray all of the superheroes on the issue. I mean, there is a little there's like a little note that he writes to the readers where he basically says like, I can't believe the people that are gonna, or the guest appearances that we're gonna have on this issue. So that just makes me believe that potentially we could see some really big characters coming on there. As we already saw, Spawn is going to be on the cover, potentially maybe Batman or something like that. And there's a reference to Superman at the end of number 2. So it's really interesting. To be completely honest, like if I had to review because I'm not really going to give it a legit review, but I'll give you guys my score if I had to give it one. You know, the cover art is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. Even like the cover A, which is it's just a cover A. I absolutely love it. To me, this is exactly what I want. The number one, I forget who the artist is, but the number one with the flames as well, is just absolutely beautiful. The cover art is amazing. The interior cover art is solid. Nothing that's special that's gonna jump out at you. You know, it's not like you know, I think Donny Cates had one where he like he worked with an artist that was like a tattoo artist or something like that. So, I mean, there's stuff that's a little bit more unique, but in terms of the cover art, it's amazing. The interior art is solid. The dialogue is pretty good. You know, the interaction between all the characters, the development looks like it's gonna be there, and there's some really interesting, interactions and potential romantic interest for some of the main characters, which seem really interesting to me. How they're going to bridge that together, because right now they're basically enemies. But overall, for me personally, the selling point is none of that. The selling point to me is Donny Cates' creativity. That's really, to me, where I feel like, and yeah, he's, I was reading a lot of comments on other videos, and yeah, some elements have been stolen from other creators and comic book characters and comic book series, and not stolen, but reused. But overall, to me, the creativity from Donny Cates, that's what to me is the selling point. The way that he's gonna interweave all these characters, the way that he's bringing them together. The interactions between all of them is gonna just be mind blowing. So to me personally, I know a lot of people have complained about, primarily some of the stuff that's been happening. And I was watching this video, and not to throw shade at anybody, but I was watching this video where somebody was criticizing Donny Cates for, already supposedly trying to work out a Netflix deal for the show, for some sort of show, which makes absolutely zero sense to me personally. I mean, I could, realistically see this happening, but in reality, it's just so far away, that to me, I can't even imagine this being brought to like the small screen or even the big screen. So to me, this is Donny Cates at his best. This is his creativity. This is him, creating a universe and something that's truly unique that I personally have never seen in comic book form. And he's doing it very stylized. He's doing it in a very cool fashion. I think that's very trending nowadays. So for me personally, I absolutely recommend that everybody reads it. Now, what score would I give it? I'd probably give it a very strong 7, almost an 8. I'm very critical when it comes to comic books. Like I said, the interior art isn't great. It's very good. As well as the dialogue and some of the interactions, all of that. The plot seems like we kind of know where it's going almost. But like I said, the creativity is what's really going to be the selling point, how he's going to create this universe and make the interactions happen. So I'm really interested in that. For me personally, it's like a very high 7, almost an 8. Which I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that's not very high. No, that's just how critical I am of my comic books. I'm usually... it's hard for me to give a comic book a rating of like a 10 or anything like that. This one's a very solid comic book. I'm still waiting for that big epic moment to like completely sell me on the series. Not that I haven't gotten sold on it, but I'm just waiting for that big moment where I'm like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I want. So I'm waiting for that big like God Country moment, or that big like I'm trying to remember what that series was, The Redneck, right? Another fantastic series. So hopefully he comes around. To me, it still feels a little bit like he's developing the story and he's trying to figure out what each character is going to be. So I don't mind it too much. I think it's going to be a fantastic series. Overall, I do see the flaws. I do see people's critique, but I still, like I said, to me, I don't like to throw comic books out, 1 or 2 issues into the series. So I highly recommend for you guys to check it out and try to find that secret variant if you can. I think they're pretty affordable at this point. You're looking at maybe like $20. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments section. Did you guys enjoy the series so far? Do you guys plan on picking it up? Are you guys gonna pick up number 3 with the Spawn cover? That one looks fantastic. So let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, watching, and supporting the channel. As always, if you guys can, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much, and stay tuned, because like I said, we will be announcing the giveaway winner at the end of the week. So thank you guys.